Well, River State Independent Electoral Commission has announced that as part of its preparation for the August 9, 2025 local government council elections, it has obtained the updated register of voters for River State from the Independent National Electoral Commission. In a statement, Pastor Tanino Tonye Tobins, RSIEC Commissioner in charge of media and civic education, also disclosed that the Commission has secured the current list of registered political parties in Nigeria. According to the statement, RSIEC said these two key documents were officially released to the Commission on March 13, 2025, following a formal request to INEC. The statement further quoted the chairman and members of RSIEC, reassuring the public of the Commission's commitment to conducting credible, free and fair elections on Saturday, August 9, 2025. In response to RSIEC's request, INEC's Administrative Secretary, Odo Napoleon Emezurike, confirmed in a reply letter that the Commission had been directed to provide a soft copy of the current voters register to the RSIEC, along with a list of registered political parties in Nigeria. Well, looking at the local government elections to be held in August 9, ahead of that, we think RSIEC receives updated voters register from INEC. Let me get your take on this.
You know, you said it earlier that we are inundated today with a lot of reverse stories. And all of them seems to be, you know, dancing around.
The local government elections, the governor, and as well as the
unity
speaker.
of purpose.
All right.
The relationship that should exist between the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary.
Okay.
Now, you see that the first casualty in a military coup or in a military government is the legislature, because the legislature is the balance in any democratic setting. They oversight the executive, they oversight the judiciary, they oversight the commissioners and whatever that is happening within a given space, which that the democracy and their powers, supervises. That is the power of the legislature. If RSIEC, if they are very sincere, it was because of the nullification of the kangaroo election or event that happened on October 5th, 2024. That,
why do you say it's
it was yes. If it were not so, the Supreme Court would have not nullified it.
Okay.
Because I sat here on different fora and said that it was an event. Because when you place a date, be it 2028, that date must come. And that event must take place. So we sat here and people were dragging us, saying that we are biased, we are this. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court has spoken because you didn't follow the guidelines. Now that the Supreme Court has nullified that event that took place, we know that some people has already cashed out, but I know they will be called to account. They definitely
allegedly, actually,
they will be called to account.
Allegedly, that's
but whether they cashed out or the monies were used for what they are supposed to be used for, there will still be an accountability, so that we will now know where the monies of Rivers people, within the time they sat, the local government chairman, and the beauty of it, they are not to be called local government chairman. They never existed in the eyes of the law. Yes, they are in the camp of former the man that held office in for Rotebe Amechi, Celestine Omeha. Celestine Omeha, in the eyes of the law, was never a governor of River State. You can't call him a former governor. You can't address him that way. So those people who had opportunity of manning the affairs of local government areas in River State are not recognized as former chairmen. That is the beauty of the law in a country, because this is coming from the Supreme Court. So in the eyes of the world, that election did not follow due process and shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened. We should take this, information as, as a fact that we know that in nowhere around Rivers State or in Nigeria will those people be recognized as AGON members. So, that having been said, RSIEC is now towing the line which they refuse to tow them. They say that if a child refuses to go a message properly, you repeat it the second time. And that's what is happening now. So now that RSIEC has properly, through the proper channel, sought for the registration of Rivers voters, have they not been given it? INEC has granted them the information that they sought. But why didn't they go through this particular channel then? So they are now repeating the class they should have already, forgone.
All right.
Today, RSIEC chairman is still under investigation. RSIEC chairman, the House of Assembly has given an order for him to be brought to them. Is it? I think they asked the DSS or the police to arrest him, and that is the order of. This is not even court. This is the House of Assembly, and again, this RSIEC chairman who has gone to court to avoid coming to see the assembly members, he will still one day, whether him or a new person is appointed, account for the monies expended during that event of 2024 5th October. So these are the things the governor would have gone underground and begin to mend fences, to smoothen, frayed nerves with these assembly members so that those things will not come up. See, Victor, there are a lot of things that is still boiling in Rivers State, because this particular one will bring out a lot of infractions. This election, we asked on this program that this election you are conducting, who approved the monies? Which local government? Because we knew that the 2024, purported appropriation did not capture the election. And I sat here and said that the governor, when he was being handed over in 2023, knew that the expiration of the local government chairman then was in sight. And again, elections will be conducted in no far distant time. Then he presented 800 billion purported appropriation bill of 2024 and did not capture the monies that will be used for that particular election. So where did the money for that election came from, and who approved it? That is what the house was, the Martin Samuel Authentic House is now saying, come and interface with us. Let us know where you got the money, who approved it, and how you expended it. We know that an event took place. Monies has been wired, monies have been expended, but where did you get it? How did you spend it? How much was expended? And how much is our balance? So whether they like it or not, as RSIEC has projected August 9th as another election, that election is tied within their relationship, and the way they were able to go about it in explaining how these other eventful monies were expended, and again, how the governor is going to handle his relationship. Because what I'm seeing now, Victor, there is no synergy. Everybody is still in their camp. Like nobody wants to come down from their high horse and meet the other at the meeting point. Okay, then so is that the way we are going to continue? Well,
that brings me to the question I wanted to ask you actually about the security aspects as regards to that August 9 when it comes for the local government polls and all of that. You've said it here now that nobody wants to come down, nobody wants to admit one or two. But now the issue is looking at security aspects for that election, because whether you like it or not, even though the RSIEC has promised a free and fair election. We've seen several instances where even peace accord will be signed and then we still have clashes during elections. So
nobody will be accountable.
So there are serious concerns as regards security issues right now
in Rivers State,
where you're talking about, you know, nobody wants to step down to acknowledge, you know, the issues on ground and all of that. So it's a thing of questions of concern rather about security as regards the state. What would you say about that?
You know, Victor, the question you ask now is very apt. But who holds the key to mend fences? Is the governor. See, when you're negotiating, like now, the House of Assembly is in the position of strength. There is no two ways about it.
Well, you keep putting this on the governor.
No, the governor. Yes.
Does it mean that it's just the governor that has a role to play in all of this?
You know why I'm saying the governor?
We have the speakers. We have also the former governor, the FCT minister as well, you know, playing roles in all of this. So but you keep putting it on the governor.
I give you a quick example. I was with a priest.
Okay.
When I came back to Nigeria to 2022, I was with a priest. So some of the things they do in Nigeria, you know, the churches has become business. So I look at him as somebody who is rational, and he's a doctorate degree holder. I say there are some infractions I'm seeing about monies and how offerings are being taken from people. I said, but I don't buy that idea. So it was causing problem between himself and myself. I had to rescue myself. I said, this is your office. I've not gotten to this office yet. So this is your office. Instead of having issue with you, because I'm giving you advice you're not taking, I quickly removed myself from there. Wherever your conscience is not welcoming, move away from there and allow the person to be. Why am I saying so? The House of Assembly has suffered great infraction. The governor has been in office. The governor has been receiving his salary, parading himself as the governor. Why those men were hiding? Those men we are you know, naturally hiding from the people. You know, they don't attend public functions. They are being seen as aliens. They are being vilified. They are being, now that you have returned back to the 8-point presidential resolution that hitherto you refused, because all those things we are enshrined in that particular 8-point resolution agenda that Mr. President and the governor signed and said that after all, it was not a death sentence. But that was what, Victor, that was what happened during the Aburi Accord that brought about the Nigerian Biafran Civil War. Gowon went, and Ojukwu, they had an agreement, people interfaced, they went to Aburi, and an accord was signed.
All right.
No gun was placed on somebody's neck to sign the accord. But when Gowon came back, the Wolowos of this world and the people who are political merchants and those who are, you know, merchants of who eat during crisis advised Gowon otherwise. But Gowon, with his clear eyes, signed the peace accord, knowing that this particular thing will bring peace in Nigeria. But when he came back, people started reconscientizing him, telling him a lot of things, which he took hook, line, and sinker. And Ojukwu said, you have heard. And what happened is what Nigeria saw in 3 years as a civil war that took a lot of lives. The governor of Rivers State went to Abuja on his own, on the invitation of Mr. President. An accord was given. You signed it. And came back and also told us that it was not, after all, a death sentence, that no price is too big to pay for peace. But what did we see? In another breath, within 2 days, the governor started singing a new song, which has brought us to where we are today. So when I mentioned the governor holds the key. He is the man at the epicenter of what is happening. He holds the key to bring this issue to an end. He also is at leverage to allow it to continue to play out. It is his own administration that is being denigrated, that is being inhibited from progressing. It is his own name that is being dragged to the mall. And let me tell you, the House of Assembly cannot go to the governor for anything. That is the truth.
Well,
the House of Assembly, Victor, will not go to the governor. That's why when I mentioned the governor, it's not about the city minister here. Not to make, he's not the governor of Rivers State. He's not the person receiving allocation. The governor, he told us that he has the red biro. That was the first time I was knowing that red biro is used for executive signings. Now, let him use that same red biro and resign all the things he has signed, and let there be peace. Because the House of Assembly have the power to override whatever they have brought out, and the governor. And now, the governor has no option than to assent to what we had discussed earlier, because now, if the House of Assembly override him after 21 days, the governor has nothing to do again. Right. Let us say that those ones they overrode him then did not have the potency. But now that they are assembly members, even Okojombo and his brothers, everybody now is assembly member, because the Supreme Court say go and they carry everybody along. Anything that they do now stands within the confines of the law, and nobody can change it. So the governor know it. His handlers must know this. Those who has been eating from the governor, those who has been benefiting from this crisis, the governor should go inside his room, lock his room, and call himself to order and think, in the last 1 year, where has this gotten me to? The governor has gone back to square zero, and he's now in a position of weakness.
All right.
Why the assembly members are in the position of strength? Because the governor will always come to them to seek their approval. Look at now, the governor for me is not working with any commissioner. They are just his assistants. Even if when the governor started working with permanent secretaries, it was better for him.
Well, Ugochukwu, I quite understand the point that to whom much is given, much is also expected.
The governor holds the key. Let him realize that the peace he's seek for, the peace he's advocating for, the peace he's looking for in Abuja is well within his red biro.
Okay.